Yusuf, Joseph. In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful. Alif Lam Ra. These are the signs of the manifest book. We have sent it down as an Arabic Quran in order that you may understand. We recount to you the best of narratives in that we have inspired in you this Quran. Although before this to you were among the heedless. When Joseph said to his father, O my father, I saw in a dream 11 stars, and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrating themselves to me. His father said, My dear little son, say nothing of this dream to your brothers, lest you should plot against you, for Satan is an open enemy to you. Thus, your Lord will choose you and teach you the interpretation of events, and will perfect His grace upon you and upon the family of Jacob, as He perfected it to your forefathers Abraham and Isaac before you. Assuredly, your Lord is knowing wise. Surely, in the tale of Joseph and his brothers there are signs for the seekers of truth. They said to each other, Surely Joseph and his brother Benjamin are dearer to our father than ourselves. Although we are a band, truly our father is much mistaken. Kill Joseph or cast him out in some other land, so that your father's attention should turn only to you, and thereafter you should again become righteous people. One of them said, Do not kill Joseph, but if you must act, cast him into the depth of the pit. Some caravan will find him. They said to their father, Why do you not trust us with Joseph? Surely you are good friends to him. Send him with us tomorrow, that he may play and enjoy himself. We will take good care of him. Jacob said, It would much grieve me that you should take him with you, and fear lest the wolf should devour him while you are inattentive of him. They said, If the wolf devour him while we are a band, then we should surely be lost. And when they went with him, Joseph, and agreed to put him in the depth of the pit, revealed to him, You should one day tell them of this deed of theirs, when they will know you not. At nightfall they returned weeping to their father. They said, O our father, we went racing and left Joseph with our goods, and the wolf devoured him, but you will not believe us, though we tell the truth. And they brought his shirt to Jacob, with false blood on it. No, he cried, Your souls have tempted you to do something evil. For me, calmly patience is most fitting. Allah alone is He whose help can be sought to bear the misfortune of which you speak. And there came a caravan, and they sent their water drawer. He let down his pail into the pit. He said, Good luck, here is a young man. And they hid him as a treasure, and Allah was aware of what they did. And they sold him for a low price, a number of silver coins, and they attached no value to him. The man who bought him in Egypt said to his wife, Receive him honorably. Perhaps he may prove useful to us, or we may adopt him as a son. Thus we established in the land a home for Joseph and taught him to interpret events. Allah has power over all things, though most men do not understand. And when Joseph reached his full manhood, we bestowed on him wisdom and knowledge. Thus do we reward those who do good. Now, the woman in whose house he was, his master's wife, sought to seduce him. She bolted the doors and said, Come, Allah forbid, he replied. He, your husband, is my Lord, and has treated me honorably. Assuredly, wrongdoers never prosper. She assuredly desired him, and he himself would have desired her, had he not seen the veritable sign of his Lord. Thus we warded off from him indecency and evil, for he was one of our sincere and purified servants. So they raced each other to the door, and she tore it short from the back. And they met her master near the door. She cried, "What shall be his punishment who wishes evil to your family, say prison or a painful punishment?" Joseph said, "It was she who asked of me an evil act, and one of her household saw this and bore witness, saying, if his shirt is torn from the front, she is speaking the truth, and he is a liar. But it is torn from behind, then she is lying, and he speaks the truth." So when he saw his shirt torn from behind, her husband said, "This is of the will of you, woman. Assuredly your will is great. O Joseph, turn away from this, and you, O woman, ask forgiveness for your sin, for you have done wrong." And woman in the city said, "The governor's wife has been asking of her boy an ill deed. He has smitten her with love. We see her in plain aberration." When she heard of their malicious talk, she invited them and prepared a banquet for them. She gave each of them a knife and said to Joseph, "Come out before them." When they saw him, they were amazed at him and cut their hands, exclaiming, "Allah preserves us. This is not a human being. This is none but a gracious angel." "This is the man," she said, "on whose account you reproached me. I did seek to seduce him from his true self, but he did firmly save himself guiltless. And now, if he does not do my bidding, he shall certainly be cast into prison and be of the company of the vilest." He said, "O my Lord, prison is more dear to me than that to which they invite me, and unless you turn their will away from me, I should feel inclined towards them, and so become one of the ignorant." So his Lord answered him and turned away from him their will. He is hearing, he is knowing. And it seemed good to the man, after they had seen the signs of his innocence, that it was best to imprison him for a time. Now with him there came into the prison 2 young men. One of them said, "I dreamt that I was pressing grapes." The other said, "I dreamt that I was carrying upon my head loaves of bread, of which the birds were eating. Tell us its interpretation, for we see that you are of the doers of good." He said, "The food which you are given daily will not come to you before I shall have told the interpretation, before it befalls you. This is a part of the knowledge that my Lord has taught me. I have abandoned the religion of people who do not believe in Allah and deny the hereafter. And I follow the religion of my fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And it is not for us to associate anyone with Allah as a partner. This is a grace of Allah upon us and upon mankind. Yet most people are not grateful. O my 2 fellow prisoners, are many diverse laws better, or Allah, the One, the Almighty? Those whom you worship other than Him are nothing but names which you and your fathers have named. Allah has revealed no authority for them. The judgment is for one but Allah. He has commanded that you worship none but Him. That is the right religion, but most men do not understand. O my people, 2 fellow prisoners, as for one of you, he will pour out wine for his Lord to drink, and as for the other, he will be crucified, and birds will peck at his head. Thus is the case judged, concerning which you did inquire." And Joseph said to the prisoner, whom he knew would be freed, "Remember me in the presence of your Lord." But Satan made him forget to mention to his Lord, and Joseph stayed in prison for several years more. And the king of Egypt one day said, "I saw in a dream which 7 lean ones devoured, and also 7 green ears of corn, and 7 others dry. O my courtiers, tell me the interpretation of my dream, if you understand the meaning of dreams. They said, a confusion of dreams, and we are not skilled in the interpretation of dreams. Thereupon, one of the 2 men who had been released from the prison, and who, after a long time, remembered, said, I will tell you the interpretation of it. Send me to Joseph in prison. O Joseph, he said, O man of truth, tell us the dream of 7 fat cows, which 7 lean ones devoured, also of the 7 green ears of corn, and the other 7 which were dry, that I may return to my people, so that they may know. He said, you shall sow as usual for 7 years, leave in the ear the corn you reap, except a little which you may eat. Then will come out after that 7 years of severity, which will consume all that but a little of that which you have stored for them. Then will come after that a year in which the people will have abundant water, and in which they will press wine and oil. So the king said, bring him to me. But when the messenger came to him, Joseph said, go back to your master and ask him about the woman who cut their hands. My master knows their will. Here the king said to the woman, what happened when you asked an evil act of Joseph? They answered, Allah forbid, we know no evil of him. The wife of the ruler said, now the truth has come to light. It was I who asked of him an evil act, and he is indeed of those who are truthful. Then Joseph said, I ask for these that he, my Lord, may know I have never betrayed him in his absence, and Allah will never guide the snare of the false. I do not ever free my own self of blame. The human soul is certainly prone to evil, unless my Lord bestows his mercy. Indeed, my Lord is forgiving, merciful. So the king said, bring him before me, so that I may attach him exclusively to myself. Therefore, when he had spoken to him, he said, you shall henceforth dwell with us, honored and trusted. Joseph said, set me over the storehouses of the land, for I am a skilled custodian. Thus we established Joseph in the land, to take possession of it, very pleased. We reach with our mercy when we will, and we never cause to be lost the reward of those who do good. And the reward of the hereafter is the best for those who believe and are constant in righteousness. Then came Joseph's brothers. They entered his presence, and he recognized them, but they knew him not. And when he had given them their provisions, he said, bring me the brother of yours from same father, but a different mother. Do you not see that I pay out full measure, and I am the best of the host? But if you do not bring him to me, you shall have no grain from me, nay, you shall not even come near him. They said, we will try to win him from his father. Indeed, we shall do it. And Joseph told his servants to put their merchandise, with which they had bartered, into their saddle bags, so that they should know it only when they returned to their people, in order that they might return. So, when they went back to their father, they said, O our father, no more measures of grain shall we get, unless we take our brother. So send our brother with us, that we may obtain our measure, and we will indeed take every care of him. And Jacob said, am I to entrust him Benjamin to you, as I once entrusted his brother Joseph to you before? But Allah is the best to take care of him, and he is the most merciful of those who show mercy. Then, when they opened their baggage, they found that their merchandise had been returned to them. They said, O our father, what more can we ask? Here is our merchandise returned to us, so we shall again buy food for our family, and we shall take care of our brother, and also a full camel's load of grain to our provisions. This that we bring now is a small quantity. He, Jacob, said, I will never send him with you until you swear a solemn oath to me in Allah's name to bring him back to me, unless you are in some way prevented. And when they had brought their solemn oath, he said, Allah shall be guardian over all what we say. Further he said, O my sons, do not all you enter the capital of Egypt by one gate, enter by separate gates. I cannot help you as against Allah. The judgment is His alone. In Him have I put my trust, and all who trust anyone should put his trust in Him alone. And when they entered in the manner their father had advised, it did not benefit them in the least against the decree of Allah. It was but a wish in Jacob's soul which he had to fulfill, for he was full of knowledge which we had given him, but most of mankind know it not. And when they came into Joseph's presence, we received his brother to stay with him. He said to him, I am your own brother, so do not grieve at what they did. And when he had furnished them with provisions, he hid the drinking cup into his brother's saddlebag, then shouted out a crier, O camel riders, you are surely thieves. They said, turning towards them, What is that you have lost? They, the royal servants, said, You do not find the king's cup. And their headman added, He who brings it shall have a camel load, and I guarantee this. They, the brothers, said, By Allah, you well know that we did not come to make mischief in the land, and we are no thieves. The Egyptians said, What then shall be the penalty for it, if you are proved liars? They said, The penalty shall be the one in whose saddle the cup is found. He is held as a bondsman for the penalty of it. Thus we punish the wrongdoers. So he, Joseph, began the search with their baggage before the baggage of his brother. Then he brought it out his brother's baggage. Thus did we plan for Joseph. He could not have taken his brother according to the king's law, unless Allah so will. Whomsoever we will, we raise in degrees. Over every man of knowledge is one who is unknowing. They said, If he has stolen, a brother of his has committed a theft before him. But Joseph kept it secret and did not reveal to them. He said within himself, You are in worse case, and Allah knows best the truth of what you are describing. They said, O exalted sir, behold, he has a father aged and venerable, who will grieve for him. So take one of us instead of him, for we see that you are one of the doers of good. He said, Allah forbid that we should seize any but him with whom our property was found, for then we should be unjust. When they despaired of moving him, Joseph, they went aside to confer together. The eldest of them, Do you not know how your father did take a solemn oath from you in Allah's name, and how before this you did fail concerning Joseph? Never will I leave this land until my father permits me, or Allah judges before me. He is the best of judges. Return to your father and say, Father, your son has committed a theft. We testify only to that which we know, but we cannot guard against the unseen. Inquire of the steed where we have been, and the caravan in which we returned, and we are indeed telling the truth. Jacob said, No, but your souls have tempted to you such evil, so calmly patience is most fitting for me. Maybe Allah will bring them all back to me, for He is indeed knowing, wise. And he turned away from them and said, How great is my grief for Joseph! And his eyes turned wide with the sorrow that he was suppressing. They said, By Allah, will you not cease to think of Joseph until your health is ruined and die? He said, I only complain of my anguish and my sorrow unto Allah, and I know from Allah what you do not know. O my sons, go and seek news of Joseph and his brother, and never give up hope of Allah's mercy. Truly, no one despairs of Allah's mercy, except those who have no faith. Then, when they came back into Joseph's presence, they said, O exalted sir, we and our people are scourged with famine. Though we have brought but little capital, fill up for us the measure and be charitable to us. Surely Allah rewards the charitable. He said, Do you know what you did with Joseph and his brother in your ignorance? They said, Are you indeed Joseph? I am Joseph, he said, and this is my brother. Allah has indeed been gracious to us. Whosoever fears Allah and is patient, surely Allah does not waste the reward of those who do good. By Allah, they said, Allah has indeed preferred you above us, and certainly we have been sinful. He said, No reproach this day shall be on you. Allah will forgive you, and He is the most merciful of those who show mercy. Go with this shirt of mine and lay it on my father's face. He will recover his sight. Then bring me your family altogether. When the caravan departed from Egypt, their father said in Canaan, Surely I perceive Joseph's scant, though you think I am doting. Those around him said, By Allah, truly you are still in your old aberration. When the bearer of glad tidings came, he laid it on his face, and once more his sight returned to him. He said, Did I not tell you I know from Allah what you do not know? They said, O our Father, as forgiveness of our crimes for us, we have indeed been simple. He said, I shall ask forgiveness for you, O my Lord, for he is indeed forgiving, merciful. When they entered the presence of Joseph, he provided accommodation for his parents with him and said, Enter you all into Egypt, if Allah wills, in safety. And he raised his parents high on the throne of dignity, and they fell down in prostration all before him. He said, O my Lord, this is the interpretation of my dream of long ago. My Lord has made it come true. He was indeed good to me when he took me out of the prison and brought you all here, out of the desert, even after Satan has sown enmity between me and my brothers. My Lord is tender unto whom he wills. He is knowing, wise. O my Lord, you have indeed bestowed on me some power and taught me something of the interpretation of the events within dreams. O Creator of the heavens and the earth, you are my protector in this world and in the hereafter. Make me to die in submission to you as a Muslim and join me to the righteous. This is of the tidings of the unseen which we reveal to you. O Muhammad, you were not present with them when they fixed their plan and they were scheming. And though you tried so eagerly, the majority of men will not believe. You demand of them no recompense for this. It is nothing but a reminder to the worlds. Many are the signs in the heavens and the earth, yet they pass them by and they turn away from them. And most of them believe in Allah only if they can affirm other gods beside Him. Do they feel secure that the power of Allah's wrath will not come upon them, or that the hour of doom will not come upon them suddenly, then they are unaware? Say, this is my path on clear evidence. I call to Allah, I and all my followers. Glory be to Allah, and I am not among the idolaters. We did not send before you any messengers except men whom we inspired of the people of the townships. Have they not traveled through the earth and seen what was the end of those before them? But the home of the hereafter is best for those who keep from evil. Will you not then use your intelligence? And when at length the messengers despaired and thought that they were treated as liars, there reaches them our help, and those whom we will are delivered into safety. And never will our punishment be averted from a people who are in